Namaskar. Welcome to this session. We have been considering the Ashtanga Yoga Sutra, the 2.28, and now we are coming to one more dimension with regards to the same sutra. This gets quite an important position in Vyasa's commentary on this sutra. The sutra says that by yoganga anushtanam there are twofold effects. One is Ashuddhikshaya and the other one is Dipti. And Vyasa draws us towards very interesting aspect with regards to this sutra, which is cause and effect relationship. So Ashtanga Yoga Anushtanam is the cause and effect is namely Ashuddhikshaya and Dipti. So one and the same practice works in two ways. So the karya-karana relationship, the cause and effect relationship gets a place here for discussion. So insofar as this anushtanam is concerned of Ashtanga Yoga, if it works for Ashuddhikshaya, it is to be understood as Viyoga Karanam. Viyoga Karanam means separative cause, separating cause. So Ashtanga Yoga works to separate from Citta something that is called Ashuddhi. So Ashuddhi is set aside, and that is why Ashtanga Yoga in that sense works as Viyoga Karanam. So Ashtanga Yoga will be separating the dirt in the Citta, dirt of the Citta from the Citta. And when it is removing the dirt, it means it separates the dirt, sets aside the dirt. So here we can look at Ashtanga Yoga Anushtanam as Viyoga Karanam for Ashuddhikshaya. So Vyasa introduces us to a kind of cause to an effect which can work as Viyoga Karanam. So on the other hand, we will see that Ashtanga Yoga Anushtanam works for Dipti. So it is another kind of cause. So point is that it works in two ways. So one as Viyoga Karanam and the other one is manifesting cause. What is going to manifest? It is Jnana Dipti. What is going to manifest is Vivekakhya. So the sutra itself is introducing us to two kinds of cause and effect relationships. And therefore Vyasa has embarked upon Karya Karana Mimamsa, a wonderful inquiry into cause and effect relationship. Anyway, the Viyoga Karanam has been taken for discussion on the anvil, which is called Viyoga Karanam, separative cause, separating cause. So Vyasa tells us here, Yatha Parashu Chedasya. So, like an axe will cut the wood in two pieces. it will separate two pieces by wielding an axe over a log of wood. So, the parashu is something which will divide the piece of wood into two parts and it will separate the wood into two parts. So that's how the Viyoga Karanam is to be understood, that Ashtanga Yoga Anushtanam will separate the dirt from the mind. So we can come across such cause and effect relationships in our business activity of life and in scientific process as well. Like when you wash clothes, the agency, cleansing agency, the water, the detergent, the soap, etc., they separate the dirt from the cloth, and that's why the cloth becomes clean. So vastramala is removed by the soap water, by the soap and by detergent. Similarly, Ashtanga Yoga works to de-dirt the psyche and consciousness. Just as we wash our clothes, dirty clothes are washed and they become clean, that means the dirt is separated. So similarly, by yoga, the Citta is now de-dirtified, that means the dirt of the Citta is separated from the Citta. So that is how the Viyoga Karanam works, and then we can understand in our world, worldly activity, mundane activity, so many causes work this way. Like axe cutting the wood into two pieces. A fruit can be cut in two pieces by a knife. The cloth washed means the dirt is separated from the cloth. So that's called Viyoga, separative cause, separating cause. So Ashtanga Yoga works as separating, a separative cause, separating cause with regards to Citta. The Citta Mala is separated from the Citta. So that is how the Viyoga Karanam works. Now it will be understood that by yoga there is Manasa Shuddhi, Buddhi Shuddhi, Ahankara Shuddhi, Citta Shuddhi, Antakarana Shuddhi. And that is how the dirt is separated from the Citta or consciousness. And we can easily identify how yoga works. Removing the dirt from the body, removing the dirt from mind, removing the dirt from psyche, consciousness. So, Sharira Shuddhi, Manasa Shuddhi, Vacha Shuddhi, Citta Shuddhi, Ahankara Shuddhi, Bhava Shuddhi, Bhavana Shuddhi. So that's how the purifications take place. Now, in Adhyatma, in Paramartha, it is important to understand the importance of Shuddhi Chatushyam with regards to Citta and consciousness. So, there are four aspects where Adhyatma works for purification. That is, these four are namely Antakarana Shuddhi. Antakarana Shuddhi is for Vasanakshaya. Antakarana Shuddhi will separate the Vasana where it resides in Citta. So Antakarana Shuddhi is for Vasanakshaya. Buddhi Shuddhi is for Nirmala Nirnaya Kshamata, for the act of judgment with which intelligence carries out. So that will be set right. So Nirnaya kshamata. Buddhi is for nirnaya. That means our decision making on what we decide. Now, that which is going to decide must be pure. If that with which we are going to decide and be decisive, if it is not pure, then we can understand the shortcoming. So the Adhyatma also works for Buddhi Shuddhi. And Buddhi Shuddhi is for Nirmala Nirnaya Kshamata. The judgment capacity, decisive capacity. The Ahankara Shuddhi. Adhyatmic schemes, what you might call as spiritual schemes, they also work for Ahankara Shuddhi. Purification of Ahamtva, Mamatva. Or it will be separating the Ahamtva and Mamatva. The egotism that is there as a parasite on Citta will be separated by Adhyatmic sadhana, Paramartha sadhana, Yoga sadhana. So there is Ahankara Shuddhi taking place. Then Citta Shuddhi. The fourth one is Citta Shuddhi. With the Citta Shuddhi, the mind will lose anekarthata, objectedness. It will give up chanchalata. It will give up the fugitivity. It will give up the restlessness. It will give up the wandering nature. So the wandering nature is antagonizing spiritual process, Adhyatma. You cannot allow the mind to be wandering and yet think of having spiritual evolvement. So Citta Shuddhi means the Manasa Chanchalyam, the fugitivity, fluttering nature of the mind, that will be set aside. And this is how the Yoga sadhana as Adhyatma sadhana works, that it does Antakarana Shuddhi, Buddhi Shuddhi, Ahankara Shuddhi and Citta Shuddhi. This is that important quadrate, Chatushyam. And one can easily understand its importance in Adhyatma. Now, little more investigation will tell us here that for Antakarana Shuddhi, what has to be done? Antakarana Shuddhi is by Nishkama Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma Kriya. Activities done with desirelessness, unselfishness. So, Antakarana Shuddhi takes place by Nishkama Karma Kriya. Buddhi Shuddhi takes place by Jnana Kriya. What is Jnana Kriya? Veda Shastra Adhyayanam, Shastra Adhyayanam, Shastra Shravanam, Shastra Mananam, Shastra Adhyayanam. What we call as Shastras, the study of these Shastras will work for Buddhi Shuddhi. The Buddhi will become purer by Shastra Adhyayanam, Shastra Pravartanam. Then Ahankara Shuddhi. Ahankara Shuddhi will take place by Bhakti Kriya. So, understand the interesting factor that is to be understood here. Ahankara Shuddhi is by Bhakti Kriya and Citta Shuddhi is by Dhyana Kriya. Now, you should recall that we have spoken about Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga in Adhyatmic process. Adhyatmic process means it is combination of Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Now it will be interesting to understand how they are related the Kriya Chatussutri with the Shuddhi Chatushyam. So there is the yoga is composed of 4 kinds of kriyas in one classification, very basic fundamental classification. So here we will be able to characterize what is really Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga must have these aspects, which is implied in this sutra, that it should be aiming at the Shuddhi Chatushyam, the quadrate of purificatory processes, and the corresponding kriyas, relevant kriyas for it. So that is Kriya Chatushyam. So you should be clear about the Shuddhi Chatushyam, which is Antah Shuddhi, Buddhi Shuddhi, Ahankara Shuddhi, Citta Shuddhi, which we just now discussed. Now, what are the measures for these purificatory acts, purification of these 4 aspects? So, it will be noted here that Antakarana Shuddhi takes place by Nishkama Karma Kriya. Buddhi Shuddhi will take place by Jnana Kriya. Ahankara Shuddhi will take place by Bhakti Kriya. And Citta Shuddhi will take place by Dhyana Kriya. So Ashtanga Yoga is composed of Nishkama Karma Yoga components, Jnana Yoga components, Bhakti Yoga components, Dhyana Yoga components. Briefly, Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. These 4 kinds of yogas are well known in Adhyatmic tradition, and Ashtanga Yoga is a wonderful compound. It is wonderful rasayanam. So we get some direction here as to what is Ashtanga Yoga genuinely, authentically. So it must take recourse to Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Because these 4 kinds of kriyas are required for the purification. So Antakarana Shuddhi by Karma Yoga Kriya, Buddhi Shuddhi by Jnana Yoga Kriya, Ahankara Shuddhi by Bhakti Yoga Kriya, and Citta Shuddhi by Dhyana Yoga Kriya. So we understand what are the detergents to work on this Chatushyam. And this is something that we need to dwell in with some depth. So, in brief, if we tabulate here, so that will help you conceive that more clearly with some clarity. So, make a table on a piece of paper. The table having 3 columns, the Shuddhi, the Upaya, and how it has got mentioned in Patanjali's scheme. How Patanjali is circumscribing the Shuddhi Chatushyam and the Kriya Chatushyam. So, that will help you crystallize how Patanjali has circumscribed these things. So, therefore, the table that you are formulating, it should have 3 columns. The left hand column is kind of Shuddhi, purificatory processes. The middle column will mention the Upaya, the measure, the means. And the third column will tell you where it gets mentioned in Ashtanga Yoga. So this will be interesting for really have some direction with regards to scheme of Ashtanga Yoga. So let's fill up the table. So in the left hand side column, under Shuddhi, purification, let's take the first factor, Antakarana Shuddhi. The middle column, Upaya, will be filled up with an entry, Nishkama Karma or Karma Yoga component. And in the third column, last column of the right, on the right hand side, how it gets mentioned in Ashtanga Yoga, Ishvara Pranidhana and Kriya Yoga. Because Ishvara Pranidhanam is defined as Sarva Karmanam Paramaguru Varpanam is Ishvara Pranidhana. So, Ishvara Pranidhana of Patanjali system mentions measures for Antakarana Shuddhi and also Kriya Yoga aspect of Patanjali's scheme works for Antakarana Shuddhi. Now coming to the second factor, which is Buddhi Shuddhi, the second factor of the four factors, the quadrate of factors, Buddhi Shuddhi. So the left hand side column should have this entry, Buddhi Shuddhi. The middle column will get the entry called Gynana Kriya. Gynana Kriya, which is Jnana Yoga component. So that will get placed in the middle column. And on the right hand side column, we will mention where Patanjali includes this. He includes this by what he mentions as Swadhyaya. Because Swadhyaya has a component called Moksha Shastra Adhyayanam. Because according to Patanjali, the Swadhyaya is by Pranavadi Pavitra Mantranam Japaha. That's one component of Swadhyaya. The other component of Swadhyaya is Moksha Shastra Adhyayanam. And Moksha Shastra Adhyayanam is Shastra Adhyayanam. So that Shastra Adhyayanam will carry out the Jnana Kriya. And that will carry out the purification of Buddhi Shuddhi. Now coming to the third factor of Shuddhi is Ahankara Shuddhi. So in the left hand side column, that will get entered Ahankara Shuddhi. Ahankar means I-ness, egotism, egoism. Now this is countered by Bhakti Yoga. So the middle column of Upaya will get mention or will get the entry of Bhakti Kriya. And Bhakti Kriya gets mentioned in Ishvara Pranidhana of Ashtanga Yoga. Then the fourth aspect is Citta Shuddhi. The Citta Shuddhi is said to be countered by Dhyana Yoga Kriya. Therefore, left hand column, the fourth entry is Citta Shuddhi. The middle column, Upaya, the means and measures. The fourth entry is Dhyana Yoga, Dhyana Kriya. And in the right hand side column, the mention of it would be found in Japasadhana and Abhimata Dhyanam. So Patanjali's text mentions about Japasadhana. The Japasadhana which gets mentioned in Tapas, which gets mentioned in Swadhyaya, which gets mentioned in Niyamas, which gets mentioned in first chapter, Tasya Vachaka Pranava Tajjapastadartha Bhavanam. So Japa has got mentioned and quite detailed delineation has taken place with regards to Japasadhan. So Japasadhan will work for Citta Shuddhi and also Abhimata Dhyanam. That is dhyana on one's personal deity. In the first chapter, the Chitta Parikarma, Chitta Parishuddhi, Patanjali has mentioned Yatha Abhimata Dhyanadva. So that is the Abhimata Dhyanam. So that will work to neutralize the defects or the dirts of Chitta. So the Shuddhi Chatushtya and Kriya Chatushtya that we considered, now we have traced it in Yoga Sutra where it gets mentioned in Patanjali's scheme. and where it gets mentioned in Ashtanga scheme. And that is why Ashtanga scheme is a wonderful scheme for purificatory acts. Now, apart from these purificatory acts, we also have other purificatory acts such as Sharira Shuddhi. And you very well understand how Sharira Shuddhi, corporeal purification, takes place by asanas and pranayam. So, Sharira Shuddhi, Manasa Shuddhi, Vachika Shuddhi, Kaya Shuddhi, Ahankara Shuddhi, Buddhi Shuddhi, Manasa Shuddhi, Antakarana Shuddhi, Citta Shuddhi. So these are all purificatory acts which you can easily trace in Patanjali's scheme. Starting from Kaya Shuddhi, Sharira Shuddhi, up to Citta Shuddhi, everything gets mentioned. So Patanjali's system is actually, in one sense, is a purificatory process where it separates the dirt from embodiment. Kaya Shuddhi, Vak Shuddhi, Manas Shuddhi will take place. So even Vacha Shuddhi, Vachika Shuddhi, Vak Shuddhi, you can understand how it takes place in the Prana Kriyas, how it takes place in Japa Kriya, how it takes place in Swadhyaya Kriya. So Kaya Vacha Manasa Shuddhi, which is so important in Adhyatma, can easily be traced in Patanjali's Ashtanga scheme. So that's how Viyoga Karanam kind of cause to a corresponding effect is mentioned, described, delineated in Karanamimamsa. Now, the other cause is that Ashtanga Yoga give rise to Vivekakhya. So Vyasa tells us, Vivekakhya estu prapti karanam yatha dharma sukhasya na anyatha. So the second kind of cause is prapti karanam. Prapti means to attain, prapti means to acquire, prapti means to get. So what do you get? You get the Jnana Dipti. What do you get? You get Jnana and wisdom. What do you get? You get Vivekakhya. So up to Vivekakhya, you will be having Jnana Arjanam, Jnana Prapti. So this Jnana Prapti is also effect of Ashtanga scheme, and that is called Prapti Karanam. So sometimes the cause is giving the effect by being Prapti Karanam. And we have seen the cause gives room to effect or rise to effect by being Viyoga Karanam, which we considered now. Now the second kind of cause is being mentioned, which is Prapti Karanam, and Ashtanga Yoga also works as Prapti Karanam. And Vyasa makes it clear, Vivekakhya estu Prapti Karanam yatha dharma sukhasya na anyatha. So also Adhyatma tells us that if you want sukham, you have to commit punyam. Dharma and punya will give rise to sukham. While the materialistic man goes after sukha, the sukha is, or the delight and pleasure and happiness is sought after by everyone. But we go after wrong means. We don't go after perfect means. So Patanjali gives us wisdom. In the Karma Mimamsa of the earlier part of the second chapter, we had considered this. That Papa gives rise to sufferance and Punya gives rise to Sukham. So therefore he says, Dharma Sukhasya Karanam. Yatha Dharma Sukhasya Karanam Tatha Ashtanga Yoga Vivekakhya estu Prapti Karanam. This is what Vyasa is telling us. So we are embarking upon second kind of cause and effect relationship here. So that is Prapti Karanam Yatha Dharma Sukhasya Punyam Sukhasya commit virtue, you are going to get sukham. Whereas materialistic man is looking for wealth, money, for happiness. And that's why materialistic man thinks if you have money, you will become happy. And the experience of life tells us that. The money has not much to do, perhaps nothing to do with happiness and delight. So that is realized late by mankind. A man thinks and believes that money will give delight and happiness, and therefore we materialistic people go after making money, earning money, minting money, etc. Thinking that that would give happiness, and it doesn't give. So point is, Vivekakhya is attained by Yoganga Anushthan, and that is by way of being prapti karanam, the cause of attainment. Because yoga gives this attainment of Vivekakhya, therefore this is cause of attainment. Like punya gives you sukham, virtue gives you sukham. So the second one is prapti karanam. And Vyasa also mentions clearly, as a philosopher's advice, dharmaha sukhasya na anyatha. Don't think of any other means to become happy. It is dharma only which gives happiness. Other causes are pseudo causes, deceptive causes. So we have considered Viyoga Karanam and Prapti Karanam. So Ashtanga Yoga works in Dvividha Karanam process. So it works in dual way as a cause. And then Vyasa commences inquiry, which is so important in philosophy. Kati cha etani karanani shastre bhavanti navavaityaha. How many are such causes and effects thereof? So Vyasa tells us there are 9 such causes. Now, this is the scientific approach that Patanjali system has, making inquiry into that. We know cause and effect relationship, but we don't arrive at a specific number such as 9 such cause and effect relationships. So, Vyasa begins this inquiry into causation. Here begins the inquiry of causation. So, kati cha etani karanani shastre bhavanti. How many are such causes mentioned in Shastra? Navavaityaha, 9. They are 9. And this is how he has a kind of preface or prologue for the inquiry that is going to follow. What are the 9 causes? He presents a wonderful couplet. So this couplet tells us about 9 such causes. The scientific community should be interested in what is being now said, what is being mentioned. Because scientific community wants to go after, explore and decide on cause and effect relationships. So here is the couplet. Utpatti sthiti abhivyakti vikara pratyayaptayah Viyogaanyathatvam dhrutam karanam navadha sprutam. So there are 9 kinds of causes. What are those? Utpatti, sthiti, abhivyakti, vikara, pratyaya, apti, viyoga, anyatva, and dhruti. So these are the 9 causes. So like a scientist, Vyasa is telling us about 9 kinds of cause and effect relationships. What are these 9, as I just now said, listed? Utpatti. That means giving rise, giving birth, or being origin of something. That is utpatti karanam. So utpatti karanam will give a kind of effects, because it has a productivity potential, production potential, producing potential. The second one is sthiti, sustenance. The sustenance also has a kind of manifestation. So giving birth, the potential to give birth is one kind of potential to turn out effect. Then the sthiti, sustenance, has another kind of manifestation for effect. Abhivyakti, manifestative cause. So manifestive cause, it gives a manifestation is turned out from certain causes. The fourth one is vikara karanam, mutation, mutative cause or transformation cause. Something is muted into something, or something is transformed into something. So transformative cause turns out a transformed effect. That is the fourth kind. The fifth one is pratyaya karanam. Pratyaya means knowledge. Knowledge gives rise to something. So that is pratyaya karanam. Then the sixth one is apti karanam or prapti karanam, attainment. Something is attained out of something. So the cause becomes something from which something is attained. That is prapti karanam. Then Viyoga karanam, separative cause, which was discussed. Then anyatva karanam. Anyatva karanam means differentiation. Differentiation is the eighth kind of cause, and dhruti is the support. When something is coming as a support, there is a turnout by that. So it becomes supportive cause. So these are the 9 causes. Originative cause, sustenance cause, manifestive cause, mutative cause, knowledge cause, attainment cause, separative cause, then differentiation cause, and supportive cause. So we will see that in this world we have these 9 kinds of cause and effect relationship. The cause operates in 9 ways as stated in this couplet or in this discussion. So that's how there are 9 ways of effects coming out of cause. And now each one is illustrated for our comprehension. And that will make us understand these 9 causative aspects. Tatra utpatti karanam mano bhavati vijnanasya. Tatra utpatti karanam. So that is being described here. Just as the mind gives rise to Jnanam. Where do you get your knowledge? You get your knowledge in your mind. So mind gives rise to something which is knowledge. So knowledge is born in mind. The particular function of the mind, Vishishta state of the mind, particular state of the mind gives rise to Jnanam. Because Jnana is particular vritti of the mind. Jnana, knowledge, worldly knowledge even, is a kind of modification of the mind. Mind itself becomes knowledge. It is not that the mind has knowledge. Mind appears in mind stuff. Knowledge appears in mind stuff. So that is why it is particular state of mind, and that's why we don't get knowledge when the mind is disturbed. Knowledge is improper when the mind is in imbalance. Knowledge doesn't come when the mind is coated with tar. It is darkened, it becomes very, very tamasic. Knowledge doesn't rise. So the Vishishta Vritti itself is Jnana. So we must understand the relationship between the Manovritti and Jnanam. Proper knowledge, it could be worldly knowledge or it could be Alaukika Jnanam, transcendent knowledge. The mind must be in proper shape and form for the Jnanam to rise. So we understand the relationship and we can testify this relationship between a particular state of mind and Jnanam. That particular state of mind will only give rise to Jnanam. Other states of mind will not give rise to Jnana, knowledge. So the mind is material cause of knowledge, because where do you get knowledge? Be that Laukik or Alaukik, be that Laukik or Paramarthik, the Jnana comes in Manas. So the Manas is material cause, Upadana Rupam, Upadanatvam, Upadana Karanam. And that's why the Utpatti Karanam is mentioned, because of something as material. The mind is material of Jnana or Ajnana. If you have Jnana or Ajnana, where is it? It is in mind. So the mind is the material cause of whatever kind of knowledge, whatever degree of knowledge, meager knowledge to substantial knowledge, or insufficient knowledge or improper knowledge. The breeding ground is mind. So it is Utpatti Karanam. So that's how Vyasa explains and describes and helps us comprehend the Utpatti Karanam, one of the 9. That's Sthiti Karanam. Sthiti Karanam means sustaining cause, preservative cause. Sthiti Karanam Manasaha Purusharthata Sharirasya eva ahara iti. So how is this to be understood? How is the body sustained? Body is sustained by food. How is the Purusharthata attained? Bhoga apavargartha, Bhogarthata apavargarthata. It is from mind. So the Purushartha is given, Purushartha manifests, purpose of Purusha manifests because of Manas. If you don't have Manas, can you have Bhoga or can you have Apavarga? You can't have it. So the Sthiti for Purusharthata, which is Bhoga Apavargarthata, Manas is the cause. It is the sustaining cause. And the sustaining cause also can be understood by the food that we eat and the body that we have. So, what happens to our body if we don't take food or if we don't take proper food? What is sustaining the body? Food is sustaining the body. So, that is sustaining cause. And as we just now saw that the Bhogarthata, Apavargarthata is by mind, one would easily recall a statement from Upanishads such as Maitrayani Upanishad 6.36, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. For bandha and moksha, the cause is manas. Mana eva manushyanam karanam. The karanam is manas. What is the karyam? Effect is bandha or moksha. So the mind becomes sustaining cause of bandha and sustaining cause of liberation. So, this cause is also preservative cause. Preservative cause also is to be understood, included here. And the preservative cause means taranam, gopanam, jatanam, paritranam. It is all sthiti karanam. Now it can be said here that the mind is preservative cause for purushartha because it accomplishes the effect which is experience, bhoga. It should be noted that the mind is absorbed after its accomplishment and has no reason to stay. So that's how we have seen for bhoga and apavarga aspects. Then the next is abhivyakti karanam. The third kind of cause is said to be abhivyakti karanam. So we will be considering the third cause in our next session. So far we have seen prapti karanam, viyoga karanam, which Ashtanga Yoga Sutra itself is mentioning. So we have seen sthiti karanam as well. So make note of the karanas that we have so far considered from that Q plate which mentions 9 causes. So we have so far seen Viyoga Karanam, Prapti Karanam, Sthiti Karanam. We have considered 3. Now we are going to consider the 4th. But that we will commence in our next session. Enough for the time being. Namaskar all of you. So this session is discussing the 9 cause and effect relationships discussed by Vyasa. Namaskar all of you.